Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Steve Lentini, Sales Training and Steve Lentini Sales Leadership, the best getting better. I'm also president of Lord and Lentini Training for Life. Okay, so I'm the author of Sales Success for the Rookie, How to Succeed at Sales right from the start. It's published. It's on Amazon. You can get it in CD format soon, very soon in Audible, and of course in the paperback. And it's published by Motivational Press. Justin Sachs, great guy, great company. If you want to publish a book, let me know. I'll connect you with him. I'm also a contributing author in Imagine 30 Days to a New You. Imagine 30 Days to a New You. That's Justin Sachs, and it's published by Motivational Press. And very shortly, I have a third book where I'll be a contributing author. One of 35 is called Lightning Success Strategies for Today's Leaders, and I have a chapter on culture, and that's interesting because we'll segue into the Wells Fargo mess, and I'll do a few other topics. First, though, I wanted to show you some of my other books. These are self-published. Sales Success for the Spiritual-Minded Salesperson, How to Sell Without Losing Your Soul. It's a great little book. It's a quick read. Sales Success for the Seasoned Veteran, How to Stay at Peak Performance. Again, self-published. These are available on my website. And Wake Up, Jump Into Your Life. This is my training for life. And this is about cause and effect, how we show up in life. A lot of times we don't know what we don't know about how we show up. And often it's the people in situations that bug us that teach us. And also, it's a cause and effect world. I teach you that you're the cause. And so, anyway, Steve Lentini, I'll give you information how to contact me at the end. Wells Fargo mess and cold calling, B2B, B2C, and C2C. So business to business, business to consumer, and consumer to consumer, and I'll talk a little bit about that. That's more direct selling and multi-level marketing, or as it's been called in the past. Okay, so the Wells Fargo mess. The Wells Fargo mess was created by the Wells Fargo leadership. They're going to pay a $456 billion fine for their sales practices. Their sales incentive program, created by leadership, probably because they had at top leadership wanted to show management, the CEO and all the top officers, we've got this big design for increasing sales. Probably too, there was a conversation with the CEO and all the top officers about where do we want to move the company to? And somebody came up with an ambitious goal, which led to a sales incentive program that incentivized salespeople to abuse future clients, customers, existing customers, and the company, Wells Fargo itself. They besmirched the Wells Fargo name. They dragged it through the mud. And so ask yourself, is your sales incentive program, what kind of behavior is it driving? Is it the behavior that sends the proper message to our customers and our future customers? What is the sales team's behavior? What are they being driven to do? And what is the recent behavior? Are you checking in from time to time with clients and people they've called on, especially people that said no? Are you checking in to find out why future clients said no, right? I don't call them prospects, by the way. So in that pool of future clients, why did they say no? You may discover that it's your own sales incentive program that's causing an abusive practice by your sales team. And it also can incentivize selfish behaviors, which is what the Wells Fargo program did. They announced yesterday, I was listening on the XM radio, and they had an ad saying, hey, we've just disengaged all our sales goals. Hello? I mean, people want to hear that now? Yeah, it's good, I suppose, that Wells Fargo is announcing it. The thing is, where were they? Where was leadership? Why was the company so devoid of leadership and character, moral character? Where was their compass, their moral compass, their integrity? I would never do business with Wells Fargo. Never. Never. They can't get me back. You see, that's what you risk when you have sales incentive behaviors that don't encourage team. You need to be asking the question, who supports all these salespeople? Why is it that you want them out there like wild cowboys, like marauders, damaging the reputation of the company? I call it commission breath. If the sales incentive program is set up so that it drives them for their commission to care only about themselves, selfish behavior, then you have a problem. It's going to cause them to do things that lack integrity, that are disingenuous, that have commission breath, a poor energy of pushing at your customers. So you want to call me, I can help you with it. And I have an article in the book, Lightning Success, Sales Success for Today's Leaders. Strategies, actually, success strategies for today's leaders, that's coming out shortly, published by Motivational Press. So let me go back. Wells Fargo, Mass, what you need to do is set up a sales incentive program that's called a team incentive program. You start with the end in mind. What's the culture we want to build? Don't we want everybody on the same team? Answer that question. If it's no, okay, I question your leadership if the answer is no. The days of the old sales rooms and the locker room type mentality for sales departments is slowly fading, slowly fading. Herb Chambers is a great example. He owns a bunch of dealerships in New England. I saw a billboard last year that said, "You don't like car salespeople, neither do we." This year it says, "We don't sell you a car, we help you buy one." Herb Chambers. Those are great strategies. I've been teaching that for 25 years, and before that I learned it myself. I learned how to make a connection with people. After all, I knew by tracking my success I was only closing between 10 and 20% of my prospects. I had to call on 20 to gain between 10 and, call on 100 to gain between 10 and 20. So maybe my average was 15 closes every time I worked on 100 new opportunities. Here's the thing. My incentive was my commission. It was to grow my pay. That was my incentive. And the company had it structured so that everybody was getting a share of the income. And then there was an overall incentive for the growth of the company. That's when I worked in my family business. People got bonuses and things like that for good behaviors toward customers and future customers and the day-to-day operations. All right, so ask yourself those questions. Are you building a team, or are you building a crew of gunners that don't care about you and they're out gunning? So Wells Fargo sales team created thousands of fake accounts, fraud. They committed fraud. And they were also in the day-to-day calling on customers, pushing certain programs on them based on the incentive. So check your incentive program. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do today is cold calling ideas, B2B, B2C, and C2C. So B2B, cold calling ideas. What I learned was I was calling on business to business. I had supplies for businesses. So my business sold supplies to other businesses, B2B. What I noticed when I got in the business in 1975, when I was 4, don't do the math. So 1975, salespeople were being taught features, advantages, benefits. Go in with a spiel and have a great spiel and then ask them, "Hey, so you want it on Monday or on Wednesday, the alternative event close? Press hard, 3 copies. It was such BS to me even back then that I stopped using it after 6 or 8 months of training that I had gotten. Very little training, but still, of the training I got, it didn't feel right to me. So I started going in and having conversations with people. And because I knew I was only going to close 15 to 20, and I had to call on 100 people to get there, I wanted to meet people and leave them feeling good about me, because I figured you never know. And I was calling on maybe a 35, 40 mile geographical radius. I'd get to know people, and if they saw me in their town, I wanted them to have a good impression about me, respect me. And so I respected them. And I didn't assume I was going to sell them. I didn't even go into what I was selling until I gauged their energy. I would breathe and come back into my body, and I would gauge their energy. Did they look engaging? And I'd say, "Hi, good morning. I love your smile. You look like you're feeling great. Do you have a few minutes? I am a salesperson. You probably guessed that. And I'm not selling anything right now. I just wanted a few minutes to ask you a few questions." Most people said yes. If I saw that they were feeling a little tense or tight, I'd say, "Geez, you look upset. You probably don't want to know what I do." And some would smile and say, "No, I'm not upset. I'm just thinking about my day." "What do you do?" "Well, I'm in sales. I see that you're buying what I sell. I've got the same supplies. Do you mind if we talk about it a little bit? You're probably happy, right? You probably want to just say, no, no thanks, I'm not interested. Whatever customers would tell me, predominantly, I would share it up front. I naturally did it. And I found that it warmed people up. I took the pressure off because I wasn't selling, for now, I'd say. Right now, I'm not selling anything. I just wanted to meet you. And I'm a local business person. I call in this area. I'm in town a lot. I entered into a lot of engaging conversations, and guess what? I closed a lot of people. Some who said, yeah, you're right, I probably don't need anything right now. I'm pretty happy. Okay, so pretty happy. What would you, sounds like you could improve something about them. What would you improve? And then they tell me sometimes it opened up a door, sometimes it didn't. But I didn't have commission breath. I wasn't pushing. I was curious. I was asking them about what it is about their current company. Or they had what I bought. Were they happy? I hear that a lot. People say they're happy. So that's B2B. Again, it's what I teach. So if you have further questions about it, I can teach it. Detach from outcomes. Be in your body. Go to meet people. That's your job. Not sell them anything for now. You sell them later. But actually, you help them buy today, like Herb Chambers is talking about. Help them buy. It's a whole process that I'm teaching. It works great, by the way. I was making some cold calls with somebody a few months ago who I could see right away was pushing and talking about what he did. And when he learned and watched a more natural style, taking the pressure off, he found some interesting results. He discovered some interesting results. He had some interesting openings that he didn't see before. And he said to me, I must have been pushing. Okay, B2C is business to consumers. So that's like Herb Chambers is doing. He's selling cars to consumers. He's in business. He's a car dealer. He owns multiple car dealerships. And he says right on the billboards, you don't like car salespeople? Neither do we. We don't sell you cars. We help you buy one. We don't sell you a car. We help you buy one. So you can start to see the shift of relationship, working with people. They own a number of dealerships. If the customer walks in and wants an XYZ brand, they can say, well, if you're really, I can see you're really a little concerned about this brand meeting your needs. We have 13 other brands. I mean, they have a lot of car dealers. So you could say, you could say to someone, what are some of the other brands? And I'll hook you up. Maybe I can meet you there. Or I've got a guy I work with at XYZ. They say they like Cadillac. Okay, we got a Cadillac dealership. We can get you over there if you don't like Lincoln. That's what's important today, is making a connection. And then C2C is consumer to consumer, and a lot of those are direct selling models like Shakeology or Amway or Metaluca or all these other different models. And today, people have resistance to direct selling. In fact, when I was a kid, I was in Amway, and I noticed resistance to getting in the business. People bought my products easy enough, but getting and becoming an Amway distributor was something people had a lot of resistance to, even that back then. So I'm working with a company that does, they're a reseller of energy. So the interesting thing about that concept is you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to buy shakes. You don't have to buy soap. You don't have to carry an inventory of vitamins. Whatever it is in direct selling that has people being resistant to it, there's two reasons for the resistance. One is they got to buy inventory and carry and do a certain amount of sales every month to be approved. With some of these energy companies, you can sign up your own electric meter, but again, you're already buying electricity. You're just changing the billing method, and it actually continues with your regular electric bill. So really very little changes, and it takes about 5 minutes to do. And if you want to get in the business, people can get in the business for $75 and $25 a month to have a website. So it's very inexpensive, and you don't have to buy a whole bunch of inventory or meet a minimum every month. So that's very interesting. And for those people that I'm coaching, I'm recommending to them, find the resistance right up front. So they're being taught, hey, don't tell them what it is, just get them to see the video. Why don't you ask first, this is a direct selling model. I'll explain it later, but first I wanted to find out, how do you feel about direct selling? How do you feel about multi-level? What are some of the things you didn't like about it? What are the things you did like? Let them tell you. If they say that, oh, I had to buy a monthly inventory, I hated that. Well, what if I said this particular program, you don't have to buy a monthly inventory? So again, you're dealing with what your biggest fears are up front. Same in B2B. I see you have what I sell. I wanted to chat about it. I don't want to sell it to you for right now. I don't want to sell right now. I want to find out. How are you feeling? And I want you to have respect for me. So if you don't buy, that's great. A lot of people don't buy. That's the way to do it. B2C, same way. We're here to help you buy. C2C, consumer to consumer, ask them, what are the things you're afraid of? Whatever your biggest fear is, bring it up. You bring it up. Go for no. Detach from outcomes. You're not going to close 80 to 90%. You're not going to close 80 to 90%. When do you want to know they're not interested? I walked into a company that had 8 lateral file cabinets stacked side by side, 8 drawers. So 4 cabinets stacked on top of each other. I said, what were those? Oh, all our proposals and RFQs. Then I said, what's this one here with 1 drawer? One's got office supplies in it. One's got folders, this many folders, half the drawer. Oh, those are our closed file. Wow. They were spending so much time, wasted time on people that weren't going to buy, as evidenced by 8 draws of proposals. And so I helped them reduce the number of proposals and improve the amount of productive time they had in front of people that were more likely to close based on the history of people they've closed. It's not hard. It's not rocket science, folks. I can help with it. All right. So how do you reach me? Steve@stevelentini.com. Steve@stevelentini.com. Here's how you spell my name. It's really bright on the book here. Steve Lentini. Steve@stevelentini.com. My phone number is 917-805-1088. 917-805-1088. Thank you for your time. It's my goal. Always give you something you can use right away. Any questions? Call me. Glad to answer them. Thank you.